Die legt uit. Die legt uit dat je, als je met z'n drieën bent, dan moet je die oordingen opdoen. Anders dan ga je door elkaar praten.
En dan, het klinkt ook verschrikkelijk. Als je... Dit is een goede vraag. Doen we het in Engels of in het Nederlands?
Let's do English.
Let's do English, right?
So we can reach a lot of people.
I want to talk to the whole world, man. I want everybody to know about this shit.
I'll be a little bit less funny, but I'll reach more people.
Impossible. Today we're talking, hey, Sakuraba. It's amazing. Amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, once again we have here with us Daniel de Groot. He was one of the first to ever join, to believe in the cause, to believe in this dissemination of information, unbiased distribution of information to you in the best way possible. He was the first one to believe in this, to tell his story, to tell about the jiu-jitsu here, to tell about all these things, and I'm so happy to have him back with us. I'm really excited. Welcome back, man.
Thanks a lot. Pleasure to be here again. Big upgrade. Last time we did it on Skype in our living rooms while we were locked down. Yeah. Now we're in the studio. We got some good audio equipment.
We got computers, we got microphones, we got the whole thing, man.
You guys leveled up.
Man, it's about time. Couldn't stay a white belt forever. You know what it is.
That's beautiful.
We were talking about you wanting to go to Brazil in the future. Right now, we were just having this talk, and man, I think it's the future. I think Brazil. It's the future. With everything that's going on around here nowadays,
it's becoming more and more, how you say it, aanlokkelijk. Tempting to go to Brazil. Yeah. Because
if we go there, then we have the training at our fingertips. It stays. It is and stays the holy ground for jiu-jitsu, I think.
The gi.
With the and you know what? I'll agree with you on that one. I'll agree with you on that one. It kind of hurts my national pride, but I'll agree with it. Would you think that is there anywhere around the world that compares on level? What would be one of the best places to be able to go and learn jiu-jitsu outside of Brazil?
Hard. Probably United States right now is a good option. UK has some good guys, but it's all Brazilians that move there. There's very little countries with their own jiu-jitsu scene. Norway would be nice. You have a few good athletes in Norway, but most of the top guys they're still Brazilian.
Kind of makes me proud to know that.
I'm working on it. I'm trying to build some Dutch champions as well.
Arguably the best Dutch grappler sitting right here in front of me. If there is a list, a contenders list, you're on it. Yeah, you're on it. You're in the top 3, definitely.
My friend and famous Redditor and TikTok artist Azigarami, a shout out to him, named me the best grappler of the Netherlands.
Really?
So, yeah.
Really? I have to talk to Azi.
Yeah, get us.
He's doing amazing. Man, he blew up on Instagram.
I might be the best, but he's the most famous by far.
Oh my god. He's every day, and he's pumping out videos.
He's doing great, man. Yeah.
What's the future? The future's on Instagram right now.
And it's tough. Because I try to make a lot of content back in the days as well. It's very hard to stay consistent, to keep thinking of new video ideas. So he does really well. And he just keeps going whether people are criticizing him or not. Like, if you should go on Reddit for once to check the comments he gets. But like, it's all the white belts on Reddit go crazy. They no, this would never work. And he just keeps commenting. He stays friendly to them. So
that's the trick, right?
That's the trick, man. Consistency and like keep going when people tell you you shouldn't. That's how you get good at anything.
Have you already gotten any hate?
Yes, of course. Of course, yeah. More and more.
Give me the best one. Give me the best. Is there a comment that sticks to your head?
I'm not gonna name names, but
no names, just comments.
I think one of the things somebody said about our team is, but those guys, they're just good because they train a lot.
That's okay. That's a really good argument. You have to stop training. What is the definition of then? Would they expect you to wake up in the morning and be naturally good?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's
more common. That's a hater right there. You can feel
it. It means that I'm being more successful. The more successful you get, the more hate you get, I think.
Yes, I consider myself the more comments that come in
Yeah.
that are where people are criticizing and stuff like that, the happier I get. I mean, like, it's open for discussion, and I like that. I like to leave them in give them that opportunity, of course.
Yeah, for me it was a bit hard. I think that's something over the last few years that I've become a little bit more of a public figure. People start creating opinions, and they see you and they want to say something about it. But I'm getting more used to it. Like you say, you just have to take it like that. Like it's a part of the success, and people will start having opinions of you, even if they don't know. Yeah,
and they have the right to have their opinions.
Yeah,
I mean, it's hard, especially if they're like, "Hey, you don't know me, you can't talk about me like that." But yeah, well, the moment you put yourself out there, that's the great danger of it.
Exactly. Especially if you just like see it from a distance. I have this at least when I listen to a podcast with somebody I either admire or I think I dislike from a distance, and I hear like a longer conversation with them. Usually it opens my mind already. So it's more if you really don't know somebody, it's easy to hate on them. But if you get to know somebody by listening to them talking on a podcast, it's every person can explain why they do things, and it's hard to hate on somebody.
That's why we're here right now.
Exactly.
We're pulling the pendulum back into the
content. That's the
like,
that's
guys,
right.
there's no reason to hate.
Please be nice.
No, don't hate. Train more. Just train more. You know. That is the thing. Since last time we were here, you told us who you are, what you're doing, and all the fantastic work that you were going to. And I myself have seen it, and a lot of people have seen it too, but we've seen you grow, man. How was it? Was it like, explain to me that growth? You know, did it come naturally? Did you work more on it? Do you realize that people are more into it right now? Is there more interest? Is there?
I think the key is just like this is something I learned pretty early from my coach, that if you just keep training every day, you're gonna get good. For me, like I didn't do anything different over the last few years. I just kept showing up. I kept improving, trying to find an edge. And now it starts paying off a little bit. So I get some nice medals. I beat some big names. Teaching more classes, more seminars. But it's just a result of a lot of hard work. Like I'm not doing a very different routine than what I did when I was a blue belt or purple belt. I'm still training every day, twice a day. Still studying jiu-jitsu on the side. Now I make all my money with jiu-jitsu as well. So instead of working a side job, I teach private classes or seminars. So I have a little bit more focus on jiu-jitsu. But other than that, it's just the hard work from years starting to pay off.
Yeah, it's now is the time that it actually comes in, right? All the money and all the...
Oh, yeah. Man, stop about the money.
Man, you get so rich with jiu-jitsu.
Shit, my wrist is a bit too heavy with the Rolex right now. Can I put it here?
I can see it.
If you want to get rich, do jiu-jitsu.
That's the truth. Look at Gordon Ryan. He's buying houses for everybody.
Exactly.
Man, and you're now 100% only focused on jiu-jitsu?
Since 2018 already.
Since 2018, fully into it.
Yeah, if I'm correct, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. When we talked, you were already going 100% for it.
Yeah, and then I finished my thesis, and then I quit my side job, and I just went full into jiu-jitsu. But back then, I didn't need a lot of money because I need money for competitions and for flying. In the Netherlands, I would live at my dad's place, and in Brazil, I would sleep in the gym or sleep at Thiago's place. So I didn't have a lot of
hustle.
Yeah, I didn't have to make a lot of money to survive. But now I have my own apartment, I have a car, so now I actually hustle a little bit more. But I still manage to do it all with jiu-jitsu, so that's really good.
Wow, it pays off.
Yeah.
Keep at it.
Hard work,
Keep
man,
at it. That's the thing I want to give out to everybody. If you believe in something, you have a dream, man.
Exactly.
Like, go for it.
Yeah, and nobody would have said that when they saw me compete as a white belt, that I would be able to live off jiu-jitsu.
I think we look at anybody and go like, hey, this white belt.
Yeah, I have a few white belts that.
Yeah?
Some of them, they show some potential.
But of course, your school grew as well.
Yeah, the school, yeah.
And you changed locations, right? Because, look, there was this, we started talking in the beginning of Corona, man.
Yeah,
and that was a difficult time for everybody that did anything with sports and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and out of that you came rising like
Yeah.
a phoenix,
Yeah.
with more students and everything like that, without putting yourself in any, let's say, in a situation where you're giving up too much information. But how did you do it in the time of Corona?
So, of course, we would never train illegally.
Absolutely not. Who
Definitely
do
not
such a thing?
condone
Who do
it.
such a thing?
But some people might say that we did do some solo drills with each other in several underground locations, basements, living rooms. Marnie's office, the office of one of my students. So we had quite a few spots, and I did a lot of online classes too in the gym, which were sometimes also a bit offline. But we managed to train quite a lot, and I was really lucky with the gym owners I work with, that they're also very pro training.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
That's a good way to
they're pro health and fitness.
They're pro health.
Pro health and fitness.
They're
yeah.
health pros.
Yeah,
you could
exactly.
say, you know?
So we were really on one line with most of the gym owners I work with, which meant a lot of us could still keep training. And then I had this small group of my my more enthusiastic students, like most people know Bart now, Lauren, Savage, Sarah. We used to train in like basements, living rooms. So every day we would train at least one time together.
You have to.
Yeah.
And that also created like I think this is a good thing that the Corona came, because it created like this stronger bond with this certain group of students that stayed and were able to stay and actually took the chance and the risk.
What I say now is that like that small group of students, they're taking other students under their wings.
Yeah.
So like the jiu-jitsu spreads, like they worked a lot during COVID, but now they can spread the jiu-jitsu. So
like a virus.
Like a virus, exactly. it's like a circle. So they get really good, but then the people around them also get good, and that's what I really see with the team now. Like I like in a week I teach probably over 100 different people in 3 different gyms. So it's very hard for me to mentor every one of those 100 people. But if you want to get good at jiu-jitsu, you need some close mentorship. But I now see my students taking that mentoring role as well. So it's like I'm mentoring, like I have a handful of students that I'm a little bit closer with, that I really take my time, that we see each other a lot.
That you know longer. That's another thing.
Yeah.
Like if the longer you somebody, I think one of the students have to understand is the more they show their faces, the more we become friends, because at the end of the day, that's what we're doing. That's
the only secret to get good at jiu-jitsu, showing up a lot. But that doesn't just mean that by showing up you get good, but also your coach sees you that you're showing up a lot, so he's going to put more time in you. I think that helps a lot, and just like students with the right mentality, that work hard, that show up to training, that don't whine too much.
Don't whine too much. You are dropping a true thing right now. Listen. I know your ear hurts. I know
need an anatomical report before we train.
Look, I know your fingers hurt. Mine too.
My left pinky, right thumb, left eyebrow, right toe, and my knee. Oh, and my back is slightly injured. Yeah. But let's go.
Oh, that person passed me too hard. Listen. It isn't stays a martial art. There's no way around it. You're fighting.
So naturally you lean towards a few students that like you're a little bit closer with, but now I see that those students are taking people under their wings, and that they're spreading like the high level jiu-jitsu to them, and that's like how the team is growing a lot. It's
such a beautiful thing, and that's I think that the main goal of this whole jiu-jitsu thing, right? I mean, like, you make people love it and show others how much they love it. Man,
it's amazing.
It's and that has been now the outcome of what Corona is, and what we are now in a Corona-free times. It seems that the rules have been we're done. We can go again. You were able to go to competition again and start off. How was it to? Because in the meantime, it was really hard to go back to competition, right? And
what's up?
How was it going back? Was it a little bit? I have to get into my rhythm again, because
it was okay. Like last time I competed before.
Let me make the question a little bit more direct, because now we're like super happy to see you, super happy that everything's gone. Now I'm going into all the questions that I have, man. There's a lot of stuff I wanted to ask. There was a time off from competition. There's a time off from training. There's also the fact that you are the coach of your gym, and it's hard to find. I always say that if you're going to do competition, you have to have people at your level and higher. You have to have people that kick your ass
Yeah.
constantly, and that's it. At a certain point, it gets hard to find. I mean, the better you get, the more you train, and the more time you dedicate to it. So, once you went back and competition was an option again, what did you feel was the main difference in your performance, and the main difference in the performance overall from people?
First I'll go general, and then I'll go a little bit more specific in my experience. But I think a lot of people used, so did I, use the COVID period to develop a lot of new things. Normally I'm working from competition to competition, so I might try like one new position or one new technique, and then, oh shit, competition is 2 weeks away, back to the A game. Maybe I can still hit it. But now we had almost a year without competitions, so I could apply a lot of new things to my game. So I learned a lot of new things. My game developed quite a lot. More specifically for me, my last competition was the European Championship. I had my students to prepare with, but also the one of the weeks before the competition, we had a big training camp. So my coach came over. We did a seminar tour in Germany at all the affiliated gyms under Thiago. We had all the top black belts from the house coming to Rotterdam. We had Caio, we had Fausto, we had some of the good colored belts as well, Chris, Cabelillo. So we had a really good team of good guys. For me personally, I didn't spend enough time in the gi to prepare for the competition. So I was really focused on the ADCC trials. Then for the Europeans, I put on my gi again, also to help my students. And like the grappling is still there, but at like black belts adult level, you have to be super focused. You have to know like all the small details. You have to be up to date with all the lapel stuff. You have to be up to date with all the berimbolo stuff. You can't be like a general grappler that like goes from no gi to gi. That doesn't really work. So now I'm really focusing on the no gi again.
Is it possible to be good at both? To the highest? Well,
it used to be. I'm not sure if it can still be. It's hard. I think it's very hard.
They're drifting apart. Right?
I think so.
They're drifting slowly apart more and more and more.
Yeah.
It also shows that I used to be able to show techniques in gi and in no gi almost the same. So I could take one technique and go like, hey, do you see a difference in that? Do you have to have actually specific different classes too?
Yeah. I find it hard with the curriculum as well, because I want to do like the same position for the week in gi and no gi, but
oh my god, I was going to ask about that. I mean, how do you build a curriculum nowadays?
Yeah, that's harder. So now I usually split the gi and no gi curriculum a little bit. So let's say in the gi, that was the last period with it. In the gi, we work on collar and sleeve guard, and the no gi, we focus on triangles. So it has some overlap. You still do the triangle on the gi as well, but in the no gi, you focus a bit more on different setups and finishing, and in the gi, you focus a little bit more on the guard control. So something like that. It's hard if you want to be like competitive at the high level levels. In both. Yeah,
it's
The
it's
game is
difficult. The game is changing, man.
There's overlap, but yeah, the game is changing. No gi wrestling is so much more important than in the gi. You need to know all the lapel stuff, all the berimbolo game, which is so intricate, so complex. So yeah, you have to really specialize in both actually if you want to do it all.
You said you were usually when you're going from competition to competition, you're focused on your A game.
Yes.
And in this period of time where you're not able to compete, you're going to focus on making your game bigger.
Exactly.
Making it different. Do you feel you missed out on the fact that if you go to competition and you're only focusing on that one game and getting professional in that one specific kind of thing, once you look at the rest of the thing, what I want to say with that is sometimes I notice that I'm really good in one thing, and then I kind of regret that I'm not good in another thing.
Yeah.
There's also body type in it, because as a big guy, I always wanted to do small people shit.
That's good. Look at Bushesha.
Yes, I was.
He does it pretty well.
Man, I was enamored with berimbolo, but I was like, my size and doing berimbolos is a hard thing, man. I have to work extra on it. But did you have that as well? And do you think that it's a shame that like if you focus so long time on your A game, and when you look out,
Jiu-Jitsu is so complex. There's so much to learn. This is something I realized more and more when I got my black belt. It's like, okay, like when I started, I thought at black belt I would know everything, but I'm still going to the gym every day with a lot of new things to work on. I plan my own training. I don't just make a curriculum for the students, but also one for myself. And I don't have enough time to practice all the things I want to practice. There's so much to learn, which is really cool. So I actually like the period where I could try a lot of new things out without having to go back to my competition game every 2-3 weeks.
Do you think that at a certain point we'll know enough to actually go into a competition without a game, without an A game?
I think there's two types of athletes. Well, I'll give you the example of my coaches. You have Gabriel Holo and you have Thiago Gabriel. Gabriel Holo is like a complete jiu-jitsu fighter. Of course, both know a lot of almost every position in jiu-jitsu, but Gabriel Holo is really complete. He can take you down, he can sweep you, he can pass you, he can take your back.
No, Holo is amazing.
Yeah. Like a complete fighter. And then you have Thiago, who's more of a specialist. Like if he grabs your head or your foot or he gets you in half guard, it's game over. I'm more like Thiago in that regard. So I'm not a really complete fighter. I'm trying to get as complete as I can, but I have some specialty moves that I feel are way above the level of some of my other moves. I think at the highest level, you see few specialists, like the elite of the elite, few specialists and a lot of complete guys, like the Atos guys or Tynan Dalpra. Those guys, they do everything really well. Like they take down, they pass, they play guard.
It's going more towards a complete
I think it's
game,
going there,
right?
Yeah,
it's going that way. And you can see that they're both there, but these are also people that are fantastic in either gi or no gi. It's ridiculous. And there's a lot of overlap, but I do feel that when I speak about speciality, when you speak about specializing, especially specializing in no gi or in gi, I mean, don't you feel that eventually that somebody that is specialized in gi will never be that level in no gi? Because the time of that, like we only have a certain amount of time a day, because now it's already hard to, like, as you said, you build a training thing for yourself, and then you have also your students, and there's not enough time in a week and in a day to do all the things that...
You would say that, but if you look at the statistics, wait, I'll just grab the HCC champions. So most of them are actually mainly gi guys that take off the gi for HCC.
For the ADCC that is coming now, right? To 2022. I'm excited.
Any ADCC, yeah, that's gonna be sick. Okay, wait, let me check the winners. Okay, so 2019.
So Daniel just pulled up the whole list of ADCC.
Augusto Mendes, mainly gi guy. JT Torres, mainly gi guy. Mateus Diniz, mainly gi guy. Then you have Gordon Ryan, who of course is more of a no gi guy, and Kynan is also mainly a gi guy. So most of the guys that win still did more gi in their life. I think the level in the gi was just a lot higher the last few years, but now I think that's slowly changing.
There's change coming.
Yeah,
there's a change coming, man.
It is. Yeah.
What do you think yourself? What that you yourself are?
I'm probably leaning more towards no-gi for myself as an athlete. I just had this discussion with my wrestling coach as well, but I think for teaching classes, the gi is always going to be a good option, especially for kids, because if your parents are going to leave you in the gym and you see like the cute little gis, like the pajamas, like, it's judo but more on the ground. And then they go to no-gi class and it's like, it's just MMA without punches and kicks. Like it sells itself. It depends, of course, on the group you're trying to sell to. But I think for a lot of parents, the gi makes it more friendly or something. Yeah, less like MMA.
I think their connection comes directly from judo and karate for kids, and then they look at that and then they see the jiu-jitsu kids doing like with the gi. They're like, this is judo, but only on the floor.
Exactly.
It's extra safe.
Yeah, exactly. And then
little do they know,
if they take off the pajamas, it's just MMA without getting kicked in the head.
Little do they know how rough it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Kids coming back home with cauliflower ears now. That's a bad thing. I did see a couple of kids with cauliflower ears once. Yeah, that was scary. I said, this little dude, not even like a meter high, and he's already like broken ears. I said, no.
Not gonna try with that one.
No, man. You rub acai on your head before you go to sleep. I'm sure of it.
That's the only way to get real cauliflower.
Man, that's the only...
For all the white boys listening. Acai on both ears before you go to sleep.
Yo, you know what about cauliflower ears? You know what I saw how people got it? Because it's a status symbol at some point, right? They take the belt, then they wrap it around people's head, and then they just like wrijven.
Rub.
they rub it like a couple of times and then the both ears break.
No
and
way.
I'm like, no, why are you doing it? Just train enough. You'll
You're
get
crazy.
there. And I saw some white belts do that, you know, and
What?
I was like, no.
Don't
what
do
are you
it,
doing?
white belts. Don't do
Don't
it.
do it. Earn it. Earn it.
Yes.
Earn it. There's no shortcut. What are you doing? Horrible stuff. Man, again, so we go back to it's hard to teach, and it's a skill. I mean, we just came back from a seminar by you, which was amazing. We did a guillotine seminar. I loved every single aspect of it.
Nice.
Well explained, good techniques, good attention to everybody. People loved you because you saw at the end people were like sitting around you going like, hey, jiu-jitsu. How do you set? I'll go to a broader question first. What do you think is the best way to teach somebody jiu-jitsu? Where would you start if somebody has no idea how to fight?
So first, teaching in general is, like you said, it's a skill. So the key is to just teach a lot. And where most people in the Netherlands, like we're two exceptions, I think, most people teach classes 2-3 times a week.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. I teach classes 3-4 times a day. I teach 2 group classes, 2-3 private classes, and then all the seminars as well. So it's a skill. You have to learn it. For beginners, the first 10 classes, I just focus on the basic positions: mount, back mount, side control, close guard, open guard, half guard.
So it's more positional.
More positional. And then my goal for the first 10 classes is just give them the objectives of every position. Like, I don't care if they do the hip escape perfectly or that their elbow is a little bit wide. I just want them to know, like, when you're on bottom mount, you need to stay safe, you need to get out. Bottom back mount, same thing. When you're in a good position, you need to keep the position, you need to finish. I just want to give them a broad idea of the positions, and from there you can build. Then you can start looking, okay, this guy has a good body type for spider guard, or this looks like somebody that would do well with half guard, and then you start fitting a game to them. But no, before that you actually work on escapes and staying safe. But the idea is give them a broad overview, and then I start focusing on all the big positions, but on the defensive aspect, and then I start focusing on something that will work for them personally.
So all right, so you go broad, like very basic, very
basic.
How do you explain to somebody that this is useful? That's another thing. Like, how do you explain the position to somebody? Do you actually give examples? Like, if you're in a street fight.
Yeah. So the first classes, like, I always try to like feel what the person wants. So if they're like there for self-defense, or they just want to just want to get fit. So in the first classes, I will always talk about self-defense. So okay, now you're in a mount. Well, you could recognize that in a street fight, this would be very dangerous. So I'll use that as an example, and then always tell them very honestly that, I'm a sports jiu-jitsu guy, so in my training I don't care a lot about self-defense, but in the beginning it's important to understand where the positions came from and how you could use them in a self-defense situation. But the longer I work with somebody, the less I talk about self-defense.
All right, the more the people go into sport jiu-jitsu and are doing it longer, you'd say. So the more time, that's the thing that I always had with, like, how to connect. I don't remember who said it, but there's different types of jiu-jitsu right now, right? So there's the self-defense type, super effective and works very well. I mean, it's up there with legit self-defense stuff. I truly believe. Then there is the gi sport jiu-jitsu, then the no gi sport jiu-jitsu, I'd say, and MMA.
Yeah,
I think those are the four kind of. And I always, I usually talk too much when I give my classes. So
that's something that's also very important when you're teaching, to be aware of that.
Yeah,
time management.
Time management is but they get me excited. They get me excited. They're like, why this position? And then I go into the history of it. And I see on their faces, I didn't want that. It's too much information.
No, I learned this from, probably not very nice to say, but one of my first coaches, he often lost track of time. So he kept talking, and then I'm looking at the couple, will we still spar? And like, oh shit, yeah, sparring. Okay, 5 minutes, go. So I really didn't like that. So I always kept my eye on the time. Whenever I'm teaching, I prefer to talk a little bit too little than too much. I learned that the hard way, but I didn't make a mistake. Somebody else made it for me. So I think that's very important to keep in mind, because especially new teachers, it comes from a very good place, because you get so enthusiastic about the position. You really want to help everybody. You want to explain it in a way that everybody gets it, but you're wasting a lot of time. Most people already have gotten it before, and you don't learn jiu-jitsu from talking. Like, you won't get better at jiu-jitsu after listening to this podcast. You get better at jiu-jitsu by training.
Yeah.
You can apply some of the things people told you, but you only get good at jiu-jitsu through sparring. So help your students and don't talk too much.
That's a thing too. Through sparring, you get better.
That's the only way.
That's the only way. Is there a hierarchy in what you teach as being the most important? Like, what's the most important aspect during your class, which is, I imagine, divided in warm-up technique, drill, and sparring? Something like that, I would say.
So the most important part for me is between drilling and sparring, we do specific sparring.
Specific
so,
position.
example, training yesterday, we're working on triangles for the advanced group. So triangles, some setups, some finishes, and some escapes. And then you'll start in a locked triangle, not fully locked, but like the legs are locked and your arm is not passed through. You still have a bit of posture. Person that's in the triangle needs to escape. Person that's attacking the triangle needs to finish. So you work that. So you put a lot of quality time into the position you need to work on. Whereas if you go straight to straight sparring, to normal sparring, you would have to find a way.
Starts like straight sparring sounds like something I'd get in trouble with the woke community. So I hereby apologize. Kind of, straight sparring is the kind of sparring that is non-binary.
Non-specific sparring.
Non-specific.
General sparring.
Woke people, I do not care about you. I'm sorry. I love you all, but it's not my kind of thing. Sorry. I had to get it in between there. You go then into non-specific sparring.
I do care about the woke community. Please don't cancel me.
Try it. No, come on.
So if you go directly into normal sparring instead of straight
sparring,
you would first have to work to set up your guard, if you can set it up at all. Then you need to find a way to set up the triangle, but everybody knows you're going for the triangle, so it's going to be very hard. And then when you get to the triangle, then you need to finish. So it will be very hard to get to the triangle in the free sparring, even though you worked on it during the drilling. So the specific sparring is the perfect bridge between like the theory and the practice. So when I train myself, like most of the roles I do is also specific. You put yourself into the position you need to work on, and then you don't waste all the time getting there. You just get a lot of quality time in that position. So now if those guys get you in a triangle, they know exactly how to finish or exactly how to get out, unless instead of people that goes to normal sparring directly, they didn't spend as much time in the triangle. Only when they get lucky they might catch it, and then maybe the time is already running out.
I'm always running against these questions, like how can I get the best out of 90 minutes of teaching, and like I try not to stay too long in warm-up. Most of the people that I love that. Oh thank God. I approached it carefully, but yes, fuck warm-ups. No time for that shit. Since my purple belt, I hated them.
So stereotypical.
Man, I know, and it's so stereotypical, but it's true. I had my first team was Militia team. That I love the guys over there. Nothing to complain about. Learned the best jiu-jitsu.
Are they still around, Militia team?
Oh,
I think they split up a bit.
They split up. Too bad. And I know that one teacher is still going. Temporal. You remember him?
Yeah.
Man, Temporal was a beast, and he's still going on.
Nice.
I know that, but the other split up. It turned into Aorta, which is also a very nice gym. Very cool people.
Nice. And Paulo Brazil also was from there, I think. And
Paulo Brazil is now Gracie Barra. Paulo Brazil is my man.
It's my man too.
I'll give him a shout out when they hear. I love that guy. That's such a happy man.
Yeah, he's also
amazing capoeira fighter.
Yeah.
Too. Yes. Oh, he has his own team and everything like that. No.
I actually did a capoeira class with him.
Yeah?
I went to train with those guys there. They invited me over, so I had a great time there. And I also did my first and only capoeira class.
He is so welcoming, and he has the best name ever. Paulo Brazil. I mean, he carries that name well.
Yeah.
Oh my! I never forget what we were talking about. Yes,
warm-ups.
Warm-ups. We hate them.
Yes.
So I'm always trying to work on the best way to get 90%. So ended up being mostly sparring, drilling and technique, and then finding something out there, or seeing people with also question and answering stuff is
That's
something that I.
But you have to watch out with the beginners.
Mm-hmm.
Like I like the question and answering for my more advanced guys, but beginners, they don't tend to know what questions they should ask. Like, I don't like beginners that ask too many questions. They should just listen.
If you don't have a year of jiu-jitsu, you can't say anything.
Yes.
No.
No, we care about you too, white belts. Also, don't cancel us.
Don't cancel us. Second group that we're offending today. Let's see how many we can offend in a way. No, man. Within the getting the maximum out of jiu-jitsu within the 90 thing, and you also mentioned, like, just now, the triangle stuff. You can't just throw a triangle out there. You have to kind of create setups, which turns out to me, and this is something I realized not too long ago, and I was like, most of jiu-jitsu is just tricking another person into falling into a submission. It's basic trickery. It's all trickery. It's all trickery.
But
it's
you have to sell it. You can't trick. You have to actually sweep him, and he posts his hands out. Then you do the triangle. But if you don't sweep him, he's not gonna post the hand out. So.
I'm thinking about specific position right now.
Yeah, just an example for the triangle.
Yeah, it's all just trying to indulge in the maling name. And I'm gonna sweep. Nope, not gonna sweep you.
Other way. Oh no, not again.
That's something that students tell me. Like, Julio, it feels like we're always walking into a trap with you. And I tell them, yes, you are. You're never safe. Everything is a trap.
That's like what I was talking about with the white belts asking questions. It's like sometimes I see those guys, they come in for the first or the second time, and like they use all their power and they're pushing the other way, and like, yeah, but it doesn't work if I just put all my power here. And like, yeah, but then you fall over.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay.
And put all your power for 5 minutes.
Yeah,
exactly. Let's see if by the end of 2 minutes you're not like completely gassed out.
Yeah. So with the white belts, they don't have enough knowledge of jiu-jitsu to ask very logical questions. So with the white belts, I'm more like, okay, do this. And then with the blue belts and higher, I go more into discussions. Like, okay, guys, did you find any way to get out of this position? How was it? Did you manage to finish it all? I get my group together and we discuss the techniques a little bit afterwards.
Yes. Faixa branca não é gente. White belts aren't people. That's what we say in Portuguese. Well, yes, you are. We love you. Ah, man. I usually have to always ask. Since there is these ways of, would you prefer, now I come back to another aspect of it, is tactically speaking within competition, would you always prefer somebody to submit, or would you rather prefer somebody to stay in control? And I'll give you a frame, and tactically saying, you'll have the position first, you gain control over that, and then we can agree upon this.
Yeah.
You have a position, and then you have the control from it, and then from there you go towards the submission, right? Do you prefer your students to be submitters or controllers? And I don't know if there's a place for that in positioning, if there's something to do with that.
So I prefer them to win. That's the most important thing.
I'm going in circles, but yeah, you went straight to the point.
I prefer them to win. That's the most important thing. Sometimes submission is a good strategy to win. Sometimes you have to play a bit more tactical, win by controlling points. That being said, I like my students to finish the fights. If you look at them fighting in competitions, they'll keep going till the end for the submission. So whether they're winning big or whether they're losing big, they're not going to be very satisfied until they tap you out. And this is something I really like in them. I try to push that on them. Always looking for the submission, give beautiful jiu-jitsu. Also with the change of jiu-jitsu, going a little bit more in the professional direction, it's very important that you can finish your opponents. Like, it's nice if you like win a tactical battle. Sometimes you need to if the guy's really good. I actually won a lot of matches like that against people that would probably kick my ass right now. But I won a lot of matches by just being very strategical and using the points and those kind of things. Winning is always most important.
A win is a win.
A win is a win, exactly.
Like tactics and strategy, people. That's why I want to bring it up. You know, I realize that people. kind of give a devalue that, but
Yeah,
those rules were set up for a reason, you know. And
what I see most people that talk about, like, yeah, I am only happy with the submission. I only want to win with submissions. They generally lose a lot. It's just a weak excuse.
Yes.
And with the points as well. Usually those people come from a more self-defense background. The points are made for self-defense. I actually had this discussion with one of my students. Like, why would I go for neon belly here just to get the 2 points? Like, dude, if I would be in a neon belly on you in a real fight, I would kick your ass, man. You're getting out.
And that's something I want to. I was going through the IBJJF rules again, so I try to take the course whenever it comes out again every year, so that I'm up to date on everything.
Nice.
Also, I like it.
You tell me some strategies afterwards.
We will. I have a whole thing that I want to do about the strategy and stuff like that. Yeah, I think that's my strength, talking a lot about shit. I would, when I look into what their rules are, like the first segment of their teaching is like, these rules are based on self-defense stuff.
Exactly.
What works in a self-defense kind of situation.
If you get into a mount in a street fight, you're gonna beat the guy to pulp. If you get into the mount in a jiu-jitsu fight, you get a lot of points. So it's similar. Like, just imagine the punches and the points start making sense. Of course, like sweeping from 50-50, lapel guards. Now we get in a different topic, but the basic point system is very legit for self-defense.
Absolutely. I teach like that too sometimes, you know. Like, hey, imagine punches.
Exactly.
Like, imagine punches, and then people automatically get into a better framework in what they're working on, man.
Exactly.
Seminars. How do you do that? How do you, when I say it, seminars like that, do you have a specific way you want to teach, or is it like one topic that really stands out? Do you teach the thing you're best in, or do you teach things that you think the group needs? Which way do you go?
Big mix of everything. So usually I go to the organizer or the owner of the gym, and I ask him, okay, what would you like me to show? Because they know their students better. Like, we've been working, like today, for example, you guys have already been working on a guillotine for a little bit. You guys wanted me to keep going on that and show some of my intakes on that. So that happens. Sometimes they say, whatever you want to do, and then I like to show them some of the things I've been working on a little bit more recently. Of course, I'll never show something that I haven't hit yet, but like the things I've been playing with a little bit more recently. And then during the seminar, I'll measure the level. This is something I learned from my coach. So he doesn't go to a seminar like with a list of techniques in his phone and just, okay, now it's this, now it's this, now it's this. No, he teaches one technique, and then he sees where people are mistaking. They see like the general level of the group, and then you adjust to that. So I show my first move, usually quite simple. And if I see people have a lot of difficulty with that, I'll tone down a little bit. So I'll show another simple move. And if I see people are picking it up within seconds, okay, then I go a little bit deeper into...
escalate.
Exactly. So you have to really feel the group. You can't go into a seminar with a very set plan. Just like in your group classes. If you're going to a group class and you think like, today I'm going to show all that advanced stuff I saw in the competition, and then just 3 white belts show up, you have to adjust your class.
No more Kiss of the Dragon.
Exactly.
No more Matrix. It's gone out the window. We're doing simple stuff.
Yeah. So this is, again, something I see with people that are beginning teaching. They want to do it so well, so they really prepare. They write out every detail, and they come with every technique already fully visualized, and they know exactly what I want to teach, but they don't adjust it to the level of the group. So you have to really feel the group, feel the energy, feel the level, and you adjust from there. But usually I pick a topic, and then I'll build in a direction that I feel the group can follow.
Time on the mat. That's it. As a teacher and as a student as
anything.
Well.
If you want to get good at something, you have to do it a lot.
Yeah, there you go. You have to be there the whole time, man.
Exactly.
I saw this question come by. I'm going to steal something from Joe Rogan. Fuck it.
My man.
Okay. My man.
Have you used DMT?
Honestly, between us,
be the champ.
between us, these motherfuckers talk so much about it. I wanted to, and I never wanted to. Man, I'm trying to be a good Christian boy, but they talk so much about DMT and talking to aliens and speaking to dolphins and I don't know what. And I'm like, God damn it! And it's 15 minutes.
You have the Eindbazen podcast, which is a really cool Dutch podcast. I like it. And they really went into ayahuasca, right?
I'm not gonna say it out loud.
Okay.
But yeah, that's from I did it once.
Right.
It's a trip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, this is my thing. I'm gonna do this, and then I let it settle a little bit, and I went to Brazil.
Yeah.
And there was this guy, and he was, I don't know exactly how it works, but there's like this religion in Brazil where they do this a lot, right?
Yes.
Santo
Daime.
Yes.
Santo Daime, yeah.
Exactly. And this guy, he was talking to paintings. There was like this picture of the checkmate coach, and he's like, "Oh, thank you, professor, for the great class today."
No.
He's just talking to the painter like,
"Oh no, that's respect."
Yeah, and then people were saying like, "Yeah, no, he did a lot of ayahuasca." Like, no, this is not for me.
Yes.
Like the story sounds good, but I'm not gonna risk it.
Yeah, no, it you know what I don't like about it, and what I like about the fact that the way Joe Rogan does it with the whole DMT stuff and trying things out. If it's expanding your mind, I'm up for it. You know. The thing is the way that there's the whole you have to go spiritual on it. Oh, you have to do a cleansing and everything like that. Do you know how it works? So
you have to eat just veggies for a week or something.
Yeah, and then you have the throw up stuff. So you have to throw up a couple of times before you actually do the whole thing, right? I said, can we skip that? Yeah, but no. I said, either we skip it or I'm not doing it. Look, I'm not. I already hate throwing up. I hate having one too many beers and then feeling nauseous. That's one of the reasons why I also try not to drink too much. It's mind expanding stuff, man. Would you do DMT on Jiu-Jitsu? Do you do Jiu-Jitsu on DMT?
I don't even like... I smoked some weed once before training.
Yeah.
Hated it.
Really?
Really don't like it. No. Sorry, 10 Planet guys. Also don't want to offend you guys.
No,
but I really didn't like it.
Really?
Yeah.
I had mixed feelings. I think most of my purple belt was... I had experience with it.
I got paranoid, man. Like every time I got in a position, like, oh no, if I let go of this foot, he's gonna pass me. If he gets my arm, he's gonna tap me.
Yeah.
No.
I had that too, but I realized that I was my true self fighting was. I thought I was good on weed. Let's say it like that. I thought I was better than I actually was, and then I realized that sober, it is. I'm way more aware of everything that's happening. Again, the whole paranoid thing counts as well because like. I can't let him pass the guard. If he passes the guard,
you're just
I'm gonna
squeezing
die.
on.
Oh my god.
Now I understand why they invented the lockdown at 10 Planet. Just squeeze. Sorry, guys. Love you, Ahmad. Love you, Raul.
Oh my god. Awesome stuff. Do you teach anything that is outside of the curriculum of things that you have already learned yourself? So let's say like this, because nowadays this is a question that I also struggle with. Like there's I asked this before, there's little to not many people that are at your level or higher than your level for you to train with, which means that the challenges change and you have to create challenges for yourself. So specific sparring is a good way to deal with that. But is there any other way you deal with it? And who do you get directions from? Do you still get directions from?
So I solve it in a few ways. So my main training partners, Bart, Savage, they really know my game. So it's almost impossible to do my half guard game on them or guillotine or footlock them because I've done it so many times. So they know exactly how to kill my game. And it's a lot harder to spar with them, even though they're blue and purple belts, than against a lot of the people I meet in competitions because they know my game so well. So that's one way I solve it already. Just by training a lot with the same people, they start to learn your game.
What does it do with your ego if they get you? Kind of hurts in the beginning, right?
Black belts don't have any ego.
Lies.
It sucks, man.
Lies.
No, it's good. It's good. Like, of course, your instinct says, fuck, I don't want to tap. But
there's both happening.
You're also proud that, like, hey, I taught this guy how to do this. So it's both at the same time.
I get that too. I'm so proud of you, bastard motherfucker. I hope you.
No, I have those guys. So my main training partners. We get guys from Brazil over all the time. So we had Thiago over for big camp, and now for ADCC, I'm bringing back Marcelo Fausto for my training camp. We're gonna spend from March to May together training, preparing for that, teaching seminars as well. Don't know when the podcast comes out, but if you still want a seminar with Marcelo Fausto, got second at Europeans, black belt adult, hit me up.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, no, we're gonna do all the promotion stuff soon, man.
Oh, nice.
I'm gonna add it too and everything like that. So, I've jumped to that next question.
Nice. So I'm gonna get him to help me prepare. I also found a wrestling coach now, so that's something I've been adding to my game.
Who you been working with?
Adam.
Yeah, and he's where? What's
he's in Utrecht.
Wait, did I hear about him? That's yes.
He's good. He teaches at Fight IQ as well. He's gonna teach at my gym as well. He teaches at Elevation in Utrecht.
Right.
He's really good. One of the best in the world at the lightweight. So this is the big problem for me because I'm very very light, and most wrestling gyms in the neighborhood, if there are any, like all the wrestling guys are really big, strong guys, and of course they know their stuff, but it's harder for me to believe it from them than it is from somebody my own weight. So that helps a lot. So I'm finding people to help me. I have a good strength and conditioning trainer as well, and then on the jiu-jitsu match, on the mats, I have my students that know my game super well. So, and of course I teach them as well. Like if I hit a move on them, like, hey man, just push your hand that way, and then I can do it.
Yeah.
And then next time they already have the next step to it, so I have to add another step.
This is basically what we're doing during training, teaching them how to beat us.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and they do it well.
Yeah, shit. Mine too. They're getting every single time. They're getting closer and closer. Or sometimes they get me, man. It's a weird feeling. You're happy and you're pissed off at the same time.
Yeah,
it's something beautiful. I don't know. I guess we're getting. The longer we stay into this, the better our students get, and that's kind of the pride we get out of it, man. Yeah, it's kind of the happiness. I don't know. I'm happy with their progress, and I can imagine you too.
Yeah, of course, man. Yeah, it was. I was just talking about this. Was it yesterday? It was yesterday. But like the highlight of the last year, and for me, one of them was definitely winning the team prize at Grappling Industries. Just my guys win.
Congratulations again, man. That's
amazing.
That's
so much. It's like I was so much more happy than winning my own tournaments. Like, it's like the team effort, everybody fighting, supporting each other. You can see them pushing each other, like getting above their. Like pushing beyond their normal borders. It was amazing experience.
Beautiful, man.
Yeah, it was really cool.
I know what you mean about that. The group we create, especially when yours was happy as hell too. And you had a bunch of guys running around in the last competition. That was like
green army.
I was like looking then everything is green today. That's happening. I have to start making t-shirts too.
Yeah, make it, man. And pick a nice color, like not black. Like man, pick a color for it. So.
Yes, if you're going green, I'm going the opposite. Like
red.
Just something.
That's
like
color
that.
of Amsterdam as well. Perfect.
Yes,
we get some rivalry going.
Oh shit! Yeah, that would be nice.
Let's go.
Put our students to kill each other. I love that. Amazing, man. So you just mentioned Marcelo Fausto, the house is going to be in the house.
Oh,
it's a horrible joke.
Mic drop.
But there's people coming over for seminars soon, right?
Yes.
In March already.
Yeah. Marcelo's going to come in March. We're going to do a tour to Germany. Then we're going to stay 1 week in the Netherlands working on instructionals. He's going to make some. I'm going to make one.
You're going to make an instructional?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we're going to get to that. Wait, hold up. More information.
I'm already in marketing mode. If you want to get... No. So we're going to do that. We're going to teach some seminars here in the area as well, in the Netherlands, in Belgium. And then mid-April, we're going to do our big ADCC training camp in Rotterdam. So twice a day training, just no-gi, getting everybody ready for ADCC. And also the week before ADCC, there's another grappling industry. So for the people that aren't at ADCC trial level, but want to still really prepare well for a local tournament, the camp works well with the grappling industries as well. It's going to be really good, yeah.
How long is it going to be, the camp?
1 week.
1 week. When does it start?
Mid-April. I'm still going to figure out the exact date, planning around the other seminars, but mid-April. Yeah.
So many seminars coming.
Yeah, man, it's busy.
Yeah, it's opened up. Oh my God, everybody said like, okay, let's teach again. Let's go crazy.
I got messages from everywhere. People wanted to teach seminars.
Yeah. I got some too, and I was like, all right. It's also maybe an idea in the future for us to make a huge camp.
Let's do it.
We'll talk about that because it's one of my dreams is to have like. I don't remember where I saw it, but I remember maybe it was the Globetrotters or something like that. They did it. It was a huge camp, man. It was like 10 days, and every single day there was like 2 classes from 2 different people. Sick. It was sick. I have to get into it again where it was, but that was one of the dreams, you know. Like,
have you been to one of the 10 Planet camps? Because they do some really big camps in Amsterdam as well, right?
Dude, those camps are huge too, man. There's a couple coming up as well.
Ah, nice.
After yours, I think. Right. Yes, there's the. I'll get to all the details about camps and everything like that. Cool. On this one, guys, you're going to see the links below on this. You're going to on Instagram. We're going to be there. Now I'm going to redirect everything to Daniel. Yeah. You're giving 5 classes a day?
I'm how do you say that? I'm lowering the volume of private classes. I'm not taking any new clients as well, because in my last competition preparation, I noticed it was too much. Like I was teaching, most of the days I was 6, 7, 8 hours on the mats, actually teaching classes, not just hanging around. So that was too much. So now I aim for teaching 1 or 2 privates per day, and then my own training and the evening class.
All right.
Usually. So now I would say I'm teaching 3-4 hours per day.
How old school are you with? And this comes back to that much training and that much teaching and everything like that. How do you keep up with your body? I mean, I'm getting a little bit older, man, and I'm starting to feel shit that I'm like, oh no, I'm having that back sciatica. What the fuck?
I've never been very injury prone. I think it's because I'm molinho, what they say in Portuguese.
Ah, yeah.
I'm soft.
Molinho. Molinho would be flexible.
Yeah.
Flexible.
And I give in. Like if somebody pushes me, I'm going with the push. I'm not gonna like. I was always one of the smaller guys in the gym, so I learned how to move with the power and like not get myself injured. So that's one thing. That's how I avoid like big injuries and just.
That's how injuries start, right? If you don't want to give.
Exactly.
If you don't want to give in a little bit.
And this is something I always had. Like I was flexible and loose in training and never had any bad injuries. And then for training, like not every training I have is a 100% roll against a high level competitor. Like I have every day I have some tough rolls, but not every roll is tough. And then like in the morning usually I have some tougher rolls. And then in the evening I'll go with the lighter people, maybe still 1 or 2 tough rolls. But of the 2 hours that I'm sparring every day, like not every round is very tough. And then when I feel tired, I'll go a little bit lighter as well. And it also depends on my style. Like if I'm feeling high energy, I'll wrestle a bit more. If I'm feeling very tired, I'll play a little bit more half guard. So I just manage it per training. I don't skip trainings, but I'll go a little bit slower.
Awesome. Yeah, that's one of the things I was thinking about because...
Yeah, and eat a lot, sleep a lot. That also helps.
Eat a lot and sleep a lot.
Yeah.
That's it. But you're not doing anything like extra, like yoga or something like that. And are you a yoga person? It's coming up in a lot of jiu-jitsu.
Yoga for BJ, I used to... I think they still sponsor me, but I don't use it too much anymore. No, what I do before training, I do a quick warm-up, some stretching, some one-legged stuff. Shout out to Noah Brunt from Breda Strength and Conditioning.
Oh, there you go.
Another one. And then after training, usually I do some light stretches as well, but just like 5 minutes, nothing.
All right, nothing
too big.
But it's consistent. So I think our body adapts to the fact that we're training so much. And kind of like, I should have more injuries than I have. I'm just feeling them coming up. You know, when you're like, oh, this muscle is pulling in. So I was thinking maybe you had like a secret something.
Cold showers every day.
Oh God, no!
Yes,
ew,
sir.
No! That whole Wim Hof shit. No, God, no, fuck, no.
Not sure if it comes in this category, but
I went into that shit and I believed in it 100%. But I am too Brazilian to keep taking showers, man. The moment it started getting weather, I said no, and then I only took warm showers. And now, like lately, I tried again to go into the and I said, "What am I doing? No, I don't need this."
I remember in Brazil, I had this conversation with one of the guys. And he was asking me, Daniel, do you like warm or cold? Like, yeah, I like it here warm in Brazil. Like, I hate the warm, man. I love the cold, man. When it's winter, 15 degrees, delicious. Like, that's not cold, man.
That's not cold.
Then I was imagining I don't know who I had this conversation with, but I was imagining the Brazilian Wim Hof sitting on a beach in 15 degrees. Going into the water, having a acai afterwards.
I have no idea what cold is. I think the coldest it's been in Brazil, and all of Brazil was in the south, and it was like -1. That's a start.
I had 2 times in Brazil. I was very cold. One time on a motorbike with Thiago after competing in Sao Paulo.
That was a zone steak. You weren't cold. That was
no. It was cold, man. It was raining, and it's on a plateau, right in Sao Paulo, so it's cold. And one time in Curitiba as well, which is the coldest city in Brazil, I think. Yeah. I slept in the athlete's house, but my coach Palito, he gave me a, how do you say that? A leaking airbed. So I was sleeping on the floor in the cold. So those are the 2 times I passed That's cool in Brazil.
Those are the athlete struggles, right?
Yeah,
like they gave me a bed, but it was leaky.
Yeah. I fixed it with tape in the middle of the
But
night.
did you sleep on the mats or on the?
No, this was in like the house they had for the athletes.
All right, yeah.
I've slept on the mats as well, but
that's a little bit more comfortable, kind of.
no mats.
Yeah, my time sleeping on the mats is done. But
Yeah,
if I had to choose, I'd sleep on the mats
instead of the floor.
Instead of I hate air beds.
Yeah, air beds.
I hate those things, man. They're way too noisy.
I was lucky in the house when I slept in the gym. They had a stapel bed.
Bunk beds.
Bunk beds.
Yeah,
those were the ones. So actually, pretty comfortable bed.
Yeah,
I can't complain.
Goddamn people, cold showers, man. But okay, so everyday cold showers, and that's
Every day.
that keeps you active.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah, those are.
What is it? Would you say is a placebo or no? But do you actually say like now?
I'm not sure if it works for recovery, but after the cold shower, I feel really well. Like it wakes me up. I feel very clean, like fresh.
Yeah, shit. All that cold water.
Yeah.
Man, I hope.
and my mind starts working really well. So
right.
usually in the morning I drink a coffee, and then my mind's already working. Like in the morning I've 1 or 2 hours before, usually 1 hour before training, that I'm actually productive. The rest of the day I'm just more zombie mode because I'm tired of training. But the 1 hour, then I have the coffee, and then I'm already in working mode.
Yeah.
Then I take the cold shower, and then all the great ideas come to me.
All right, man.
And other than that, I'm just living in zombie mode, going from training to training. But that split second after coffee and cold shower, that's when I get my
That's
good ideas.
also a really important thing. Like, how do you get do you think that do you get overtrained easily, or are you usually in overtraining, or just doesn't exist? That's just zombie mode, and that's a continuous feeling.
So here in the Netherlands, I'm less in overtraining because I don't have as much tough training as I have in Brazil. But in Brazil, I'm in constant overtraining. So I'm just training Monday to Saturday, and then in the weekend, all I think about is sleeping and eating. So I don't even go to the beach. I get my food, I stay on the couch, I'm just watching series, like I don't even want to talk to people, and then Monday
antisocial.
I drag myself to the gym again. Like most people in Brazil probably think that I'm a very, very mean person because I'm always overtrained. But
don't talk to anybody.
Yeah. And then most of the other athletes, they're in the same mindset, so then you find each other, but then you have all the recreational people that train like 2-3 times a week, and then they want to be very fun.
That gringo never talks to us. What's his problem?
Yeah, exactly.
Because he's white.
I train 6 hours today. I'm not racist. I'm just tired.
Basically, all of racism was just described. It's not racism. We're just tired. That's horrible, man. We're gonna take a second because I'm doing an intermediate, like a little piece where explain a couple of things. We start up again.
Let's do it.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we take this opportunity, this halfway point, this little pee break that I've started to install within the podcasts to talk about sponsors. Now, I myself do not have any sponsors because I don't believe I'm ready for that kind of commitment. It's not the sponsors, it's me. I'm not ready to settle down with somebody yet. But Daniel is, and Daniel is a great man, and Daniel has some great sponsors. Now, this is I think 5th time of me recording about his sponsors, and he forgot himself to mention them, so he asked me to do it, and I had to do 5 takes about this without being overtly racist, homophobic, or any kind of horrible, mean thing. As a joke, of course, we're all making fun. But I decided on just give them a shout out without saying too much, because then I know I won't get myself into trouble. So the sponsors are BJJ Fight Gear and Ground Force for the Jiu-Jitsu gear, Brandzaak for the coffee, Brandzaak, Breda SC for strength and conditioning, and Varenkamp Project Services for the transportoplossing, which would be logistics in English. An honest word is thank you very much for sponsoring an athlete. If you sponsor an athlete, you have no idea how much it means to them and how much it helps out. Yes, it's a very, very
great lifestyle that an athlete has, is a blessed lifestyle that an athlete has, but it is hard, and any kind of help that comes is very, very welcome. So you guys know that you make a difference, and yeah, that is my little moment. Now, if you do want to sponsor me, and I'm not ready for a commitment like that, you can always do a donation, but donations on the Cauliflower PayPal app link thing is so impersonal. So to make it more personal, I've decided to let you guys, if you see me on the streets at any kind of point, any day, any kind of situation, just walk up to me and give me 50 euros. Or 10 or 20 or whatever you have in your wallet. It's fine. I won't be awkward about it. I won't think it's a bad thing. I won't feel disturbed by it. I'll actually feel very, very, very happy. So if at any moment you think, wow, the work that they're doing on the podcast is really, really good, then just walk up to me and give me money. I have yet to receive money on the streets, but I think when the first one to do it will get a hug. That's it. A hug. That's the first one. So, yeah, if you want to sponsor me, if you want to help out and you want to do donations, just walk up to me. Give me some money. I accept coins as well. Don't worry. Let's go back to the podcast. Thank you very much for your attention.
And we're back after this short intermission with more questions. Just fueled up a little bit. So, Daniel, one of the questions that I wanted to bring up until we got sidetracked on DMT. So, let me set it up. And I'll give you an answer to that, but I of course want to hear your answer to it. And that is what is, not the practical use, but what's the use of Jiu-Jitsu? And I remember this question coming by in Joe Rogan, and Joe Rogan gave an amazing answer to it.
Should have listened to it.
No, he was like, he turned to the person and said like, well, if we're in a street fight, I'll kill you. That's it. I thought like, well, yeah, that's the use. But I wanted to hear from you, like, if I say, what is the use of Jiu-Jitsu?
So I think the use shifts the longer you train Jiu-Jitsu. So when you start Jiu-Jitsu, it's usually to defend yourself, or that's the main reason people want to defend themselves, or their friends are doing it, so they want to do something social. But the reason why people keep training Jiu-Jitsu is just that it makes them feel really good. It's like meditation. It's like how do you say that? Verplicht.
Verplicht? Yeah. Necessary. That's not the word.
Obligatory.
Obligatory. Yes.
Obligatory.
That's kind of a complex. Yeah, but they'll get
Should
it.
be easy way.
Our listeners are smart.
Except for the white belts.
Except for the white. They're not human.
No, but Jiu-Jitsu puts you in a meditative state. You have to be. There's no choice. You can't like do a bit of Jiu-Jitsu and still think about your problems at home. At least when you're sparring against people around the same level. They're trying to kill you. You're trying to kill them. You need to be in the moment. Just like for the people that do like Wim Hof, unless the Brazilian listeners. Yeah. Like being in the cold, you get put into the moment. So you forget about anything else. If you're good at meditating, you can forget about everything else. So it makes people in the moment. It makes them happier. That's why I keep training every day, because it just makes me happy. If I don't train, I don't get happy. So the first reason will be learning to defend yourself, which is also very important. And then you keep going because it makes you happy. So it's teaching people how to defend themselves, and it's making people happy. And with that come a lot of other benefits, because you learn how to defend yourself, you'll become more confident. When you're more confident, you can chase after your goals more easily. You won't get like dragged into every direction people want. When you're calm, when you're happy, when you learn how to deal with stress, all things that come with jiu-jitsu, your life just generally becomes better. Like you're a happier person. I have a very limited circle of people around me because I'm so obsessed with jiu-jitsu. Most of the people around me train jiu-jitsu, and they have a very similar mindset to mine. They like dealing with challenges. They overcome pain. They chase after long-term goals. They don't care about quick release, quick happiness. I'm so much in that circle that I think it's normal. But when I go outside of that circle, I see very different things. I see people complaining about a lot of small things. People not determined to chase after the goals. A lot of people don't even know what their goals are. They're just going to their 9 to 5 without any idea of what they actually want to accomplish in life.
Yeah.
So for me, because I have that small circle, it's almost normal. But sometimes when I step out of it, I see how important jiu-jitsu is for people, how cool it is, and how much good things it brings to people. So I think that's the use of jiu-jitsu.
Like basic life necessities, almost to a point, right?
Exactly.
Like it's I don't know where to put this in the category of is it. I'd say the practical part is of defense, and I'd say like what is it? What category of human life and existence do we put it in? Would it be spiritual? No, because of the movement, meditation, and like being present in the moment.
I think it's a lot of things.
It's a lot of things, right?
It's
a little bit.
It's all of that. It's like movement, spiritual. It's defending yourself.
Yeah.
It's so much.
It gives you purpose too, and I think it's practice for you or purpose in life. Like if not necessarily if your purpose is within jiu-jitsu or within like achieving greatness within that, or it's more of I would say it's like practice for you to have discipline to find your purpose. Is that maybe a way that you could put it?
I don't know.
I know where, because you're coming from the idea of like it's a necessary thing, and you're so engrossed in it that once you go outside, you see like the futility of what people are going through.
And it's life in a nutshell. Like you learn how to deal with. I read this somewhere, or I heard it somewhere. I'm not making this up right now.
Sounds like Rickson and Gracie shit. Not
could
to be honest.
Could be. It's life in a nutshell. You deal with a lot of happiness and a lot of sadness within 5 minutes. Maybe you tap that guy that you finally tapped, and then suddenly some other white belt you never lost to is on your back. So you deal with really big emotions. Like you're fighting for your life, literally for your life. If somebody chokes you and you don't tap, they keep holding on, you can die. Like, of course, usually people let go, and there will be
join jiu-jitsu today, you might die. Yeah. Do jiu-jitsu today, you might die.
So
no, but it's
like very big, heavy things in a relatively safe environment where you can practice with all that stress, with all that pain, with all that happiness. Mm-hmm. So if you can deal with that on the jiu-jitsu mat, everything outside becomes a little bit easier, I think. Just again with the cold water, if you like stay calm on that cold water, then the rest of your life seems relatively cool. Like, shit, I just survived 2 minutes in the cold shower. What do I care that I have a early meeting today or something? Like it puts things in perspective as well. Because
it's one of the hardest things you can ever do, I think.
Exactly.
It's one of the most beautiful too, I'd say.
Yeah.
Somebody once said the most. The worst way to say it to me, they said like jiu-jitsu is like poetry. I said, stop that shit. No, don't say that. You're right, but don't say that to me. Come on. Come on. I'm a dude. I like
keep it straight. Oh, sorry. Sorry.
Yeah. It's the most I don't know. But yeah, that's the most unicorn way that somebody ever explained it to me.
Poetry.
It's like poetry, you know? And go like, no, stop that.
Was this by any chance a 2-star white belt?
I have a couple of them out there. I'll give you like the example, and maybe it again puts things a little bit more in perspective. And that's why I hated when he said it. I hated when he said that it's like poetry. You know, I was like, God, no, this is fighting, warrior, and that kind of shit. Like, don't start that stuff to me. But I once remembered somebody explaining to me the essence of poetry, right? And they came to me with the following idea: there are aspects in life, and there's lessons in life. For example, about loving, losing, hate, and things like that are essential to every single human being that cannot be taught. You don't necessarily learn that in an academic way. You learn the processes, of course, but what poetry does, it gives you that through words that flow into the feeling, and then you know about it. There's nothing like that. And I used to think about myself, like, what happened to him was his mother used to tell him poetry constantly, like tell him these poetry stories and about love and about all these things, you know. And he said, why am I learning this? Why is she keeps reciting poetry to me, you know? must be maddening at a certain point if your mother keeps talking to you
Yeah.
in poetry form. But the beauty of it that came out of it was once he went through the feelings that were described into poetry, it didn't make him not go through those bad situations and those good situations at the same time. But in his head, he had a correlation with what it meant to feel breaking up with somebody and with somebody like that. And when the person then, when that clicked to me, it was kind of in the same thing. You know, that Jiu-Jitsu kind of gives that back to you. It puts you in a situation that if you ever would need it, and if you ever come across that situation in your everyday life, and that I think that is also, I'm trying to get the essence of it, man.
It's nice, yeah.
I'm trying to get into like a phrase, a
You're
single
getting me there,
paragraph,
man,
and like a paragraph, but I don't know how.
I don't-
So
I don't
that's why
read
I
a-
ask people, you know.
Yeah, I don't read a lot of poetry, but
No,
this
I mean,
is
I'm
making
not-
a lot of sense. It's
I'm not like
beautiful.
a poetry, but you get what I'm coming
Yeah,
from.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
poetry will explain to you the feelings that you go through, but they won't keep you from it. Like you go through that shit no matter
Yeah.
what. But instead of being lost, you have a nice poem in your head that kind of guides you through that same
Yeah.
thing. And I think in a certain way, I think that's what the person meant when they said like Jiu-Jitsu is a little bit like poetry. It guides you through aspects of life that you're kind of preparing for in the beginning. It's not
Yeah.
always about fighting. It's about the whole like a life aspect. The way you explained it, like you
Amazing.
you meet it in one way, and then when you go outside into the world, you're like, you guys are complaining about that.
Yeah.
Look at my fingers. Look at my ears. Like my ribs are crushed.
Yeah. I like stoicism a lot. The philosophy.
I love that shit.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Nice.
it's amazing.
You should take some cold showers, man.
I'm not agree. I love it. I'm not agreeing with everything they say. I do love that stuff.
But I feel jiu-jitsu is a great way to practice that as well. Like, it's very easy to read, I shouldn't care about pain. It's all external. But then in jiu-jitsu, you actually get to practice it because you will get pain.
Stay calm when
Will you
somebody
relax? Or will you start complaining? Will you start whining? Will you stop taking sit-outs? Will you give your anatomical report before every roll? Oh, my left hand.
Stoicism did help me with the idea of like if somebody used to make a mistake in jiu-jitsu, I used to get upset with them. Like if they hit me, for example, I got headbutted again or something like that, or like things that happen, things that like normal. Especially if you're rolling with white belts, you're gonna get. Oh my god, I got so many hurts from white belts.
Please.
It's ridiculous. But it kind of taught me to. It's part of it. Like emotionlessly deal with that. And
I
that's
think Marcus Aurelius has a quote exactly about this, that if his sparring partner in wrestling hurts him, he's not going to blame the sparring partner, he's just going to be a little bit more careful the next time.
Yeah.
Which is beautiful. I don't always follow the 6-5 exactly. Sometimes I do.
I
do smash the white belts for kicking me in the head, but I should read a little bit more. I'm not a stoic sage.
This is revenge.
Yes.
Best quote I ever heard in jiu-jitsu. Look at me when I'm choking you. Look at me when I'm submitting you.
Who said that to you?
No, I wish they did. No. I think Stoneboat.
Oh.
Like, he somebody commented that he wasn't during an open mat or something like that, and somebody was screaming at the other person, "Look at me when I'm submitting you." Look me. Kijk me aan als ik. Oh, this is the best quote ever. Like, oh my god.
I hope it's somebody from Stoneboat's country, from Limburg, and then it would sound even better in the Limburg. Kijk maar als ik werk. Kijk maar als ik werk.
That's going to be officially the thing I'm going to say from now on in competition. To look at me when I'm doing this. Look at me in the eye. Oh my god, how to make enemies. Oh god, beautiful stuff, my man. Where do you see the future of this going to? Is there any beneficial stuff that going back into a little bit to the series? Well, we talk about like what's the use of it. What's the future of it?
I hope more people do jiu-jitsu, and
just to get an idea of what this is.
Yeah, just to make people happier, get them fit, get them confident. I think people need it. I know I needed it a lot when I was a kid. Like I wasn't very confident. So jiu-jitsu taught me a lot of skills, being more confident, dealing with hardship, dealing with pain. And I think a lot of people should learn it. I think it will make your life a lot happier if you train jiu-jitsu, and the more people train it, I think the more happier people will be, and the more happy people, the better the world. I think.
The happier people, the better the world.
Yeah, like, in the end, everybody wants to be happy, and if you train jiu-jitsu, you're gonna be happier.
Yeah, I actually do believe that. I believe it's a certain way to.
So it's also very easy for me to follow my mission of teaching people jiu-jitsu and like making my living of it, because I actually believe in it. I really want to help as many people with jiu-jitsu as I can.
Yeah, you can't fake this.
Yeah, no,
you can't fake loving it. You can't fake doing it. There's no way. It's real.
Exactly.
It's as real as it gets.
Exactly, and people feel that as well. Like if you're teaching jiu-jitsu just to make some money, like I don't think there's a lot of people that do that, because you can make a lot of money with jiu-jitsu, but
It's not a smart investment.
they feel it when you love it.
Yeah. We do it out of love. That's
Exactly.
definitely something. I feel that too. It's hard to me, and I don't want to sound pompous when I say this. I don't want to sound egoist, but when I try to explain to students and to people, like, yes, you're paying me for the time that I invested in doing this and giving you the information, but 99% of everything I taught you and 99% of all the time that I spend with you is out of love.
Exactly.
Like, you pay more that I can, like, that the place where we're in stays open.
Exactly.
Then you actually, I don't know. It's a different way. Like,
I would do the same thing if I didn't get paid.
Exactly. If I was like, if it's, I don't know, if this ever became something like if I could do this for free and live off of it, or live out of, like, if I would win the Lotto Millionaires. Exactly. First thing, I'd disappear for a while. So, but I'd come back. But I do this for free.
There's two questions you can ask yourself. Like, that's the first one. Like, what would I do if I made so much money that I wouldn't have to work anymore?
Yeah.
I would do the same. What would I do if I knew that I would die tomorrow or in a week? I would do exactly the same.
You're already doing what you love, man.
Exactly. Then you found the right spot.
That's it. Do you think that is there a trick for you to? How did you know that you're doing the right spot? Except for those two questions, how did you get to it?
Good question.
Because it's like, once you're doing something, then you ask yourself those two questions. If I never had to work again, and what if I die tomorrow?
Yeah.
And the other question is like, but how do I get there? But how do I know that I can ask myself these questions? Like, is it at the beginning of when I'm doing something?
You have to grow into it. When it's like we talked about it briefly in the beginning, that as a white belt, nobody would have thought that I would be able to become, arguably, according to some, the best jiu-jitsu or grappling guy in the Netherlands. But it grew. Like, I started doing it more. I started getting more rewards out of it. And what's very important for me is that I had the right guidance. So I loved it. I knew that I loved it, but I didn't believe yet that I could actually do it for a living, that I could live from my passion. And then I had really good conversations with my coaches, especially with Thiago. And because of him, I started believing in myself, that I could actually do it. And then, like, the results proved, like, I could do it. And then that's how I find it. So I liked it a lot. I loved it. But I wasn't able, if I could, because that's what a passion is. Like, it's not just a hobby that you really like. You also have to make your living out of it. That's when you find, like, there's a term for it, but that's when you find your passion. There's another word for it. But you need the people that around you that help you believe in that you can make it your work as well. And that's where I had Thiago.
Could I use the word calling? It's your
calling. Yeah, that's the one I was looking for, because you have this. I'm seeing the circle diagram in my head. Like, if you just like it, then it's a hobby. If you just make money off it, then it's your work. And then, like,
there's a circle diagram for that,
or a triangle diagram. It's ikigai as well. I think it's a Japanese word. There's a book about it.
If you give me the links to it, I'll add to it.
It's a Japanese book. My business partner and friend Patrick van Dalen, he likes it a lot. Ikigai. It's a good concept.
Oh, wait a minute. I know which one you're talking about.
It's like the secret of why Japanese people live so long.
Really?
Yeah.
I
haven't read the complete book. I'm like
I have
30% in.
Just heard of it, so I have to more books to read. Goddamn.
Yeah, always.
There's not enough time in this world.
Just like jiu-jitsu.
I have so many to go through, but I'm happy for that. How do you find your purpose in these things? I guess that's one of the things that I want to tell people to find your purpose in.
I'm gonna give you another book then.
Yeah.
Mastery by Robert Greene.
Oh yeah.
It's the best book I've read. Like this book helped me a lot as well. It's about how to get really good at something, finding your passion, finding the thing you wanna like live from. And the first part is entirely about finding your passion. So he gives, I think there's like 10 stories coming back in the book. First you find something you like, and then from there you start branching off until it really becomes you. So for me, for example, as a little kid, I always wanted to be a football manager. Like I didn't care. I was really bad at soccer, but I really wanted to be a manager. I used to play, instead of playing FIFA, I used to play Football Manager.
No.
Instead of cycling, I played Pro Cycling Manager. So I always wanted to be
You wanted to manage, actually.
Yeah, I wanted to manage like a football team. Well, my football skills were really bad. And then I found jiu-jitsu, and I really liked jiu-jitsu. But I think my future will be more as a coach. Like that's where my main passion is. That's like I was talking about earlier. That team prize was so much more important to me than winning Europeans or winning Brasileiros. The team prize gave me so much more happiness. So you find your way.
Yeah,
there's something inside you. You have to look back. Like, what did I like as a child? What do I like now? And usually that combination can guide you. But there's different ways. Definitely read the book Mastery by Robert Greene if you're interested in finding your passion.
Definitely. I'm going to read through it because not necessarily. I've always been in my passion in a way. I've always been brought up to. It's weird to do what I love, so I'm always I'm usually not too lost. I wouldn't say that anybody has found their way ever. They have a direction to go with, but I guess I'm usually on the path of like
the path is the way. Like you will never, like if you reach what you want, then you're not going to be happy anymore.
You're done, and that's not living anymore.
Exactly. You need to always.
I will want that book. I hope it's not too dense because
it's easy reading. It's anecdotes.
I put it in my head to read Jordan Peterson's book list.
That's heavy.
Man, holy fuck! There's not one happy book. That guy has not read one single happy book.
Just the Bible, bro.
What was it? Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning, and then the other one about the whole killings in the Nazi thing.
The Gulag.
The Gulag Archipelago. No, that was the Russian guy. Gulag Archipelago. Then Dostoevsky. Also, nothing that is. Man, I want to.
Mastery is a happy book. You get some nice anecdotes, happy endings.
I'm gonna go through Harry Potter again. And after Harry Potter, when I feel happy and something, or the book adaptation of Pokemon or something like that. I need some light reading. Do
you have an e-reader?
Huh?
Do you have an e-reader?
No, I do something gayer. I use the iPad.
Oh, well, get an e-reader, man.
I need to get one.
My best investment.
There's something about also having the actual book in your hands that is,
yes, but because I travel a lot, the e-reader is perfect. I have like dozens of books in my pocket, so if I want to read something light, I read it. If I read something heavy, I read it. Like I usually read 3 or 4, sometimes 5 books at the same time, like something fiction, something about sports, something about philosophy.
That is smart, and that's something that everybody actually needs to do. Like if you start a book, there's nothing that says that you have to finish it. Like you can start
you feel like it.
Read 2-3 books, man. Yeah. That's something I tell people. Like if you're halfway, I'm going through the Bible again.
Nice.
A couple of times now. It's I think it's the 7th time I'm doing it.
I have to do it again. I started, but I've never finished.
And it's a lot of reading.
My grandfather actually wrote it. Well, the translation. No,
Moses.
No, he was a reverend, and he spoke.
Bullshit.
No, really. Yeah, he taught Hebrew class as well. Greek, Latin. He spoke everything. Yeah. And he helped translate the hernieuwde Statenvertaling. So I actually have his translation in the house. That's the one I'm reading.
Really, from Dutch. He actually
Dutch,
translation to
from Hebrew and Greek to Dutch.
Oh my God, your grandfather did that.
Yeah,
that's amazing work. Is there anything spiritual to you or not? Do you have anything?
So my grandfather was always my big hero when I was a kid, and I feel like, of course, I don't want to. How do you say that? I don't want to overstate what I do, but I think there are some parallels between being a reverend and being a jiu-jitsu instructor. Like people come to you for guidance, you help them with their life's choices, you help them through hard times. So I try to like help people in a way that I feel like mainly with stoicism. I feel is the way to deal with most hardships. So that I feel like I want to step into his footsteps, but not through religion, but more through
the way that he actually lived as a mentor. Did they say that?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah,
that's a beautiful thing, man. I have it in my in the back of my head still of becoming a pastor eventually.
Really?
Yeah. That Christianity has always played a big part in my life spiritually. So that's usually the direction I go to into spirituality. I dabbled in other things. Nothing as satisfying. So it's really interesting to hear from that. Actually, your story from your grandfather is very similar to one of the teachers in... I'm going to have him over here because that guy is also a little encyclopedia of Jiu-Jitsu. It's Yuri Wurmkes. And he's the coach of John Winter that is fighting right now, probably.
Oh.
And that guy knows a lot about jiu-jitsu. Like, knows so many moves. It's ridiculous. Like sometimes
what's his name?
Yuri. Now I'm gonna say it wrong. Wurmkes or Wurmkes? I don't know. Yuri Wurmkes. And his grandfather actually translated the Bible as well to in the north of the Netherlands. There's another.
Fries.
To Fries. It's funny how people always think that the Netherlands is a very atheistic country, but it's actually really religious.
I passed through that phase as a teen. I was very atheistic.
Yeah, and then what now? Are you in between or?
You know.
But it also forms, of course, the mentor thing. Like where are you? It's not bad or good or anything like that. It's just purely interesting to know if.
For me,
is there something out there?
Yeah, Stoicism put me back to like seeing the beauty of religion as well, and like believing in that. Stoicism usually calls it nature. Yeah. Could be God or the gods as well. Like it calls it different names, but it's very hard to believe that. This is probably not something for me to talk about. I don't have a lot. I didn't spend a lot of time studying this, but just some bar talk.
It's just but it's just interesting to know where it comes from, like without any unbiased.
I feel like everything is kind of planned, so things happen for a reason. Don't know who does it or what does it, but I think this helps the mind as well. Like if you lose a competition, if you think no. Bad luck or something, but if you take it like how do you say that, like it was God's will, then you can take it as something to learn from. So everything bad, but how do you say that? I'm doing the thing with my fingers.
air quotes,
anything bad
between quotes.
if you take it as something that God planned for you, or that nature planned for you, or that just was planned for you, you're gonna be way more happy about it because you can use it. Like even heavy stuff, like if you let's say COVID, if you take it like, oh no, it's so bad, I can't train jiu-jitsu. But if you think about it, like, okay, gyms is closed, so now I can work with a small group, I can focus on new strategies because there's no competition, I can learn a lot of new things. So if you take things as given to you by a higher power, I think life becomes a little bit more pretty. Even when hard things happen, like people die, of course it's hard, or it's something hard. Very, how do you say this? If big injustices happen, then of course it's going to be a little bit harder to believe in that,
or to accept it in a way. Yeah. Because that's the hard part. Like that's accepting hard. That, but something that happens that is not necessarily good or bad. We can't define if it's good or bad. Like if something happens and it's a great big injustice in our eyes, down the line it might save a lot of people or help a lot of people. So it's
but it's easy talking now. But let's
it's
say
easy talking now. But if we're going through it,
if your kid dies, how am I gonna be talking? No, man, God wanted it, bro.
No, that's no way of talking.
Might have saved a lot of lives in the future that your kid died. No, man.
It's that is something that I definitely talk and want to talk about on the podcast, but I'll leave that one for another.
Because please do it with a different guest. I'm not touching that topic.
It's too hot.
Somebody a little bit more philosophy. Get Bart on here. Bart studied philosophy. If Bart
really?
Comes here,
I'll have him over. Man, if he likes to talk about that stuff,
you can ask those questions too.
Definitely, I would love to.
Yeah, Bart's fun to talk about, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have this love for philosophy that I had since a kid, you know. So I've
No,
always
you guys
been-
will hit it off. Yeah.
Oh shit!
Get him
no,
on it.
I'd sit
It's
down
amazing.
and go crazy about stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And but that is definitely. It's good to know where you come from, and in the sense of believing, you know, it's always interesting to me to know for like what do people actually believe in.
Yeah.
It's like sometimes I hear insane stories, you know, and then how do I correlate this back with the actual? I don't want to keep droning on jiu-jitsu as well, you know, but how does this connect together back again with people? And I always found it amazing in some stories when I hear people having these miraculous kind of change of minds, and then they suddenly know the truth about things, you know. And I'm not critiquing them, but I'll give you a funny story. Like there's a story of a lady that her cat was sick, prayed for her cat, and the next day Jesus has visited the cat, and the cat was good again, was healthy and miraculous. And since then, that old lady was a devout Christian and believed for the rest of their life. And in my head, I was like, that's all it took for you to become a believer, for you to know a truth of the truth, I would say. It could happen with any religion or any kind of situation. But what I find fascinating is that change of mind. What I find fascinating is the moment that something happens in your life that it completely switches around and you decide to live in a certain specific way.
I think it's something to respect as well, because with
Definitely.
most old people, they...
Sorry. I have a button for that, but I didn't press it.
Most old people, they really get set in their beliefs. So it's very hard to teach somebody that's older something new, especially about something so fake as religion or philosophy. So if they make that big change of mind, it's
amazing, right?
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's usually, I always come back to, also a question that I really like to ask people is like, dude, how did you come to like love jiu-jitsu, like from one moment to the next? Because most of the people that go into jiu-jitsu, they fall in love after their first class. The moment they put their foot in there and they try it for one time, usually they get their ass kicked, they're dead, they're dying inside, and they're going like, and I love this. And I'm like, what the fuck, man?
Sometimes I think about it, it's like, why did I like jiu-jitsu? In the beginning, it sucks, man.
It sucks.
You
Today
get
you
mad
gave
burns.
guillotine classes. I was thinking the whole time, what kind of fucking sport am I doing?
Yeah.
I'm getting choked out every 5 seconds here.
In the
What
beginning, you're
fuck?
just losing. Like for you, probably different because you're a big guy, but
I lose the whole time. Listen. In my beginning of jiu-jitsu was horrible.
you started in Brazil, right? So there were a lot of higher belts.
Worse, I started in Belgium. No, I actually started jiu-jitsu in Belgium, and it got worse when I came into Brazil. You know, that's when, oh my god, I couldn't do anything.
Yeah, I think about it. It's like when beginners come, like, why do you like it? It's like it's really fun, but in the beginning, it sucks, man.
Yeah, it sucks so much. It takes a year and a half for you to finally catch somebody.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
A year, and on average, for you to be good enough to catch somebody. At least a year for you to get out of a position.
Shout out to the white belts. Respect for you guys.
Listen. Okay, you see, it comes back around. It comes back around.
It's not all bad.
My man, we're going too deep.
Thought we were just talking about jiu-jitsu today.
Yes, and then we came around. Man, Fausto is coming.
Yes, sir.
You are also going to do an instructional.
Yes.
That's something that I wanted to touch on, and then slowly start wrapping up.
Let's do it. Yeah, so my last instructional was about guillotines, which did really well. Heard a lot of good things about it from other people, of course.
Where is it up?
It's on BTJ Fanatics.
Oh,
yeah, it's on BTJ Fanatics. So whenever there's big discounts, you can also use. Usually the codes go side-wide, so you can also use it on mine. It's called Guillotine Revolution. And then the next one I want to do is, the other thing I'm known for is attacking the legs. And it's actually a topic that hasn't been touched upon a lot, but it's footlocks when heel hooks are allowed. And this is something I feel I'm pretty good at because it's a big dilemma. People try to, like now everybody's just worried about heel hooks. So they're doing the ballerina foot, they're turning their knee in. But if you do that against a footlock, you're actually making it worse. For a footlock, you need to boot, you need to stretch your foot out. And the instruction is going to be completely focused on that dilemma of combining footlocks and heel hooks together, which is one of the attacking sequences I use the most when I'm attacking the legs.
I'm excited to see it, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I really
yeah.
can't wait.
Maybe I'm gonna try, guys. I don't promise anything to get a special cauliflower discount on
Let's
this
do
one.
it. Let's do it. Yeah.
I'll try my best.
Nice.
Daniel is saying yes now, but after when the podcast is always gonna go like, no, fuck you, pay full price.
I'll have to see with Bernardo and Michael from BJJ Fanatics if they have set something up. I'll send them.
I felt like Bernardo today, by the way, when you next to us explaining it. I'm a huge honor, my friend, to have you here next to me.
Crazy detail.
Ooh, crazy. That guy sounds funny as hell. That is there anything you want to give to the people before we wrap it up one more time? Anything you can imagine that you...
Keep training jiu-jitsu.
Keep training, guys.
Find your passion.
Us.
And spend a lot of time on it and effort. Because, like somebody said once, they only are good because they train a lot. So if you want to get good, you need to train a lot.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, I had Daniel de Groot, the very, very amazing pleasure of having him over once again. Always good to talk to you, man. Always good to see you. Always good to see you grow, man.
It was amazing. Finally doing it in person as well was way better than
We're
on Skype.
only growing. I can't wait to have our own studio and like with jiu-jitsu stuff all over the place and having a great time. Oh, thank you very much, my man.
Thank you, man. Awesome.